So just one more question. So to help a patient get most of your consultation, what do you do? What do you usually do? And to for a patient to get most out of his consultation or her consultation, what should he or she be doing before they come to see you?
Okay, this is another very good question because it gives me an opportunity to differentiate the practice of Chinese medicine from the practice of Western biomedicine. Um, Earlier on, I mentioned the fact that I spend around 30 minutes to 45 minutes to look after a patient in the course of the consultation and therapy of the patient. Now, aside from giving the acupuncture, I also advise the patient on how he or she can sustain the effect of the treatment and prevent having the same condition that they are suffering before they came come to see me.
Mm.
So let us go back again to the case of sciatica.
Yes.
So when a patient comes with a very severe sciatic nerve pain, they really are. You can see that they really suffer a lot. It's a very painful condition.
Yes.
But the good thing is that once you give the right treatment, especially acupuncture,
Mm-hmm.
the pain can actually disappear
Oh.
immediately
Oh.
after the treatment. A patient
Right.
would come, limping
Limping.
and
Yeah.
then have difficulty in getting on the couch
Yes.
and then lying down on their back.
Yeah.
But after the treatment, they can actually come down from the couch and then stretch their back and they will be free of the pain.
Wow.
Uh, but there is a problem here. Some patients, they think that having acupuncture is like
Taking a pill.
taking aspro or
Yes.
aspirin or
Yes.
pain-killing tablets.
Yes.
No, it doesn't work that way. So I tell them that after this treatment, and then you have to come probably for a couple of treatments. And then once the pain has subsided, I tell them to do some breathing and physical exercises.
Oh, so those exercise or the breathing was kind of specific for that particular condition. So if
Yes.
you have a different condition, your recommendation would be different.
Well, yes, because especially, if a patient comes from a lower back pain extending to the leg, which is a sciatic condition,
Mm-hmm.
they have to make sure that they don't overwork
Ah, yes,
physically
yes.
their body and then pay attention to rest.
Right, right,
But once they get out of the pain, they have to do gradually some physical and breathing exercises.
right. So
To,
the breathing exercise actually help to
of
have
course,
the
yes,
chi
the chi to
flow.
flow, and
Right.
at the same time, it also, stretches the muscles and the tendons that has been injured as a result of well, the
Yeah,
sciatic
the condition.
the
Yeah.
condition. So they have to do the exercises and do it really gradually. I provide some breathing exercises, especially abdominal breathing, and then after doing the breathing exercises, they do some lumbar pelvic
Yeah.
exercises,
Yeah.
and then leg exercises,
Yeah.
and then ankle joint exercises.
Oh, I see. I
So,
see.
so I have to demonstrate to the patient how to do the breathing and how to do the physical exercises so
Right.
that they can do it properly.
Right.
Now, some patients they follow this advice,
Yeah.
but some patients
And
don't.
you do
They
you
don't.
do have that kind of
So they come
patient.
back. After that, I had treated them for three or four times. They come back. Because as I said, Dr. Ray said, I am having the same. So I asked him, did you do the exercises that I told you? Well, I'm busy with work and I'm busy with looking after our child and everything.
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes.
so
The
okay.
excuses.
So
Uh,
I give
yes,
them the treatment again and then explain
they
to
feel
them to do
better.
the exercise because in most cases they forget about the exercises.
Yeah,
So I have
yeah.
to do it again and demonstrate how
Yeah.
it's actually done.
So my lesson from what you're saying is that you actually would do much much better to follow the instructions given
I
by
think
your
so.
practitioner,
Yeah.
because this actually was part of the therapeutic treatment,
Yeah.
right? But most people was just taking it like a, because that's the thing in biomedicine. When you go see a general practitioner, they usually don't give you any lifestyle,
Yeah.
anything
Changes. Yeah.
otherwise. You
Yeah.
just take the pill, and if it doesn't work, come back. And if it doesn't work again, and if there's any physiological change, maybe you need an operation or
Yeah.
something. You just, but I think what was really good in traditional Chinese medicine is that you stimulate your own body and
Mm.
let the body do the healing.
Yeah.
I think what you are
Precisely.
doing
Yeah.
is that you actually stimulate the body by putting the acupuncture
Yeah.
point, the exercise, and you stimulate the body's self healing power.
Yeah.
And I think that's much,
It's
much
much
better.
better. Yeah.
And it saves money too.
Precisely. Saves time as well.
Yes. So my next question actually is a bit theoretical. So how do you define health in general sense? I mean, you can use the term of qi because I'm going to ask a lot of questions about qi and other flows. So how do you define it? What is health?
Um, I see health as balance.
Yes,
It is a balance of the yin and yang energy,
yes, yes,
balance in the body.
yes,
It is a balance between the patient's um, body resistance and a balance with the all factors that brings about imbalance or illness to, to the patient. It is also a balance between the environment, external environment, and the internal environment of the particular patient. So, in essence, health is basically defined as absence of discomfort,
mm-hmm,
absence of pain,
mm-hmm,
easiness.
mm-hmm.
Um, uh, the patient is actually at ease within himself and
Yes,
at ease with the
good.
environment and the people around him.
Yes, yes.
So, so that is how I see health.
So in traditional Chinese medicine, I actually learned the concept of 精气神, right? So 精气神 is how you
Ah,
feel as a healthy person. When we say someone was like energetic and really kind of in a very content
mm,
mode, we would say, "Oh, 您精气十足啊." That is like saying, "Oh, you're full of
yeah,
energy," and they also say 神完气足, means that you have your qi intact and you have all your mental capacity intact,
impact. Yeah, yeah.
right?
That's a
So
very
that's
that's a
the healthy state. So if I
yeah,
say I'm in a good health, I'll say 神采奕奕,
yeah,
means I'm like a radiant with energy and good spirit.
yeah. In short, you're saying what you're saying is really good. These are the three treasures in traditional Chinese medicine: the Jing, the Qi, and the Shen.
Yes.
So a lot of the philosophers in pre-modern China, they talk about um, Jing Hua Qi,
Mm,
Qi Hua Shen,
mm.
and then Shen Hua Xu. So in English, you can say that the Jing is transformed into Qi.
So the
And
Jing basically is the nutrition, the good stuff that you
yeah,
take in, and also the good stuff that you store in your body, right?
yeah, yeah, the Jing is like the yin aspect of
Yes,
the body,
yes,
things that you see, things that's
yes.
visible. And
So,
then,
for example, the blood is part of the Jing,
yeah,
right?
so and it is also visible. You can see the blood.
Yes.
While Qi is an invisible energy
Mm,
that animates the body
yeah.
and everything in the universe.
Yes.
And then the Shen is actually it is translated as the spirit.
But I think it's also the mental capacity, like
Yes,
how well you can concentrate,
it is
memory, that,
consciousness
yes,
and all those sort of things. It is also something that you cannot see. It is something that the Shen is something uh, that directs everything in the universe and in the body. And there is also there's also the in that of these three, the most important, of course, is is the chi,
yes,
and it is what is summed up as the philosophy of one chi.
yeah,
The philosophy of one chi um, sees the chi as flowing in the triad of heaven, earth,
and
and
human,
humanity.
yes,
So,
yes,
and then humanity and the non-human entity.
mm,
So
mm, mm,
it flows through that, and that brings the whole universe together. So very important. There is a very important concept in the pre-modern tradition of philosophical tradition in China, the notion of
yes,
the chi.
yes,
Because without the chi, there is no life in the
yes,
universe.
yes,
There's or Udro or space time.
yes,
There's no life in the universe. There's no life in humanity. There's no life on earth.
yes.
It's the chi that feeds and animates all the life
Yes.
in the
So
universe.
if I go back to your early mentioning that the internal balance and the external balance, as well as the balance between the
Mm.
internal and the external, can we say that the Jing and Qi, well, at least the Jing is the material basis of the body,
Yes.
and the Qi actually was the one that link your internal with the external because of the constant breathing, the
Yes.
exchange,
Yes.
right? And the Shen is actually is
Mm.
your spiritual as well as cognitive connection with the
Precisely.
world, because you were talking about that someone feel at ease
Mm.
both with themselves as well as with the external world. Most importantly was like with other people, like interacting with other people. I mean, if someone who is healthy, they would be able to recognize other people's like cues, social cues, and they would get along reasonably well if they want to, right? If they don't want to, that's another matter. So they would be able to function normally if they are
Precisely.
healthy.
Yeah.
But if they are sick, I mean, I know that traditional Chinese medicine doesn't have the mind-body dichotomy. So they don't say you're suffering mental condition or physical condition. They were kind of integrate this both as one thing. So if you are sick, it's not only that you feel physically painful or tired or being sick, but also you couldn't get along or interact normally with other people and cope with the social demand or social life. So that's the mental or psychological aspect of it.
Yes, you said it right.
Thank you. Thank you. So when you say the internal and external balance, would both be physical, mental, and spiritual, the three levels of harmony and balance inside and outside, right?
So you see, those who practice Qigong in China, they see the Nei Qi.
Yes.
Then there is also the Wai Qi.
Yes.
But from the perspective of the philosophy of Wan Qi, this
Yes.
Nei Qi and the Wai Qi are just one.
Yes. Yes. So if you keep your vital energy intact as one, then you achieve the balance.
Yes, and you also achieve the balance with nature.
Yes.
With the universe.
Yes. 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 So being healthy is not just not being sick. It's more than that.
More than that.
Oh, that's great. So that's another question. So my next question is, what do you think of the factors that cause an illness? Do you think it's all like external, like, infection, trauma, poison? What do you think? I mean, from the perspective of traditional Chinese medicine.
From the perspective of traditional Chinese medicine.
Yes.
Illness is brought about by the Liu Qi or Wai Gan or Nei Shang.
Wai Gan.
Wai Gan.
Nei Shang.
Nei Shang.
Oh.
Or putting it in a classificatory system, there are external causes of diseases, and there are also internal, and then also the non-internal and non-external. Bunei Wai.
Yes.
So there's the Wai Yin, Nei Yin, and Bunei Wai Yin. So the external factors of diseases is what they call the Liu Qi, the 6 meteorological factors of wind, cold, humidity, shi, dryness,
yes,
and there are 5 meteorological factors of diseases.
Oh, yes, yes.
So they are collectively referred to as the 6 qi.
Yeah.
6 meteorological qi. That is, when the weather in a particular locality goes beyond the normal extent of a aspect of a weather change, like
yes,
in winter, like now in Melbourne, we are going through this season of winter.
Yes.
And then what is peculiar about the coldness of winter in Melbourne now is it is very cold.
Yeah.
And also
damp.
No, there's a lot of rain.
Yeah. So the shi, was it shi?
Well, you can call it shi, but it is the same. It's, winter, in accordance with the classificatory system of the 5 elements, winter is also associated with the water element.
Yes.
And the situation now, and probably you've heard that it was yesterday, we had an earthquake.
Oh, I haven't.
We had Dijen.
Oh.
And this is the second earthquake in a month's time here in Victoria. Now, this Dijen earthquake is associated with a lot of rain.
Oh, right.
So what happens is that because of several rain, you have flooding, and then you have soil erosion.
Oh, I see.
A lot of the geological formation on the
changes.
They soften, and then they collapse, and that brings about earthquake.
The earthquake. Yeah.
Now the same is true with humans. A very cold winter season, if people don't look after keeping up themselves warm in winter, they can get sick.
Yes.
That's what they call, um, Waigan.
Yeah, why God? Yeah,
In
this is
Chinese.
the exterior triggered
你
things.
受凉了.
Yeah, yeah,
You've been exposed.
to
You have
cold.
suffered from a lot of coldness or
Yes,
something like that.
yes.
And then that affects the flow of qi
Oh, yes,
on
yes,
your
yes.
body, especially the lung qi.
Oh, yes, yes. The lung are supposed to be
Yeah.
quite vulnerable
Yeah.
to
So,
cold.
but people now, when this thing happens here in Melbourne, they are now saying that we have a high case of flu.
Yeah,
And also COVID.
yeah, yeah.
Now, with this flu or COVID, when it becomes very cold in winter,
Mm-hmm.
like what happened in China
Yeah,
in 2019, which is actually when COVID started in Wuhan. It's not only Wuhan and all the other places of China. Winter was very cold.
yes, yes.
And then when winter becomes very cold, people easily become shoulyan. They
Yeah,
become
yeah,
experience an exceeding amount of coldness,
yeah,
and that disrupts the flow of the lung qi,
yeah.
and they have waigan or common cold.
Right, right. So that's when their lung were kind of injured in a way that it interrupt the lung meridians qi flow. Is that
Yes,
how
that's
you?
happened. So when that get interrupted at the initial stage of waigan,
Mm-hmm.
so they develop 鼻子不通.
Yeah. So
They
block the
block
nose.
nose, 咳嗽,
Yeah, coughing.
or
Yes.
or coughing, and then they sometimes they have a chill,
Yeah.
and then sometimes they have fever.
All right. They have fever.
Yeah, fire,
Yeah, fire. Yeah, yeah,
and then those are the initial stages of ganmao
yeah,
or a common cold.
yeah.
So in Chinese medicine, before you encounter this
Waigan. Yes.
waigan, you not prepare yourself and prepare the people to not suffer from waigan or a common cold.
Right.
That's the first line of defense.
Yeah,
You have to strengthen your Wei Qi,
yeah,
your protective Qi.
yeah,
You have to wear more clothes.
yeah,
You have to eat well. You have to
yeah,
sleep well,
yeah,
and not to fear because of the
yeah.
bupa.
So
Buhay.
basically, you think that what you're doing is to build up your own body's defense system.
Yes.
Well, we call them immune system.
Yeah. So in Chinese medicine, we call it building up your Wei Qi.
Yes, the defense qi.
Which is yang.
Yes.
And then so that also your yin qi or your nutrient qi will also will also flow harmoniously in your body. So this Wei qi and yin qi are interactively related.
So I'm just going to ask you, what sort of food would build up your yang qi during winter?
Well, you've heard of ginger,
Yes.
the ginger. So you put some more ginger or some swan. What's this?
Onion,
garlic, and then some other.
What about meat, like a lamb meat?
Yeah, you can have a little bit of lamb,
Beef.
a little bit of. I say a little bit.
Little bit.
Because,
Don't do too much.
Because here in Australia, we tend to exceed all the limits of eating. So I always tell my patients to
have a little bit of it.
A little bit of that, a little bit of this, but not too much.
Yes.
The main
Yes.
thing in Chinese medicine is balance.
Yes.
Balance of the
Yes.
food, balance of the flavor of the food
Yes.
that you
Yes.
eat. You
Yes.
know, you have the pungent flavor, you have the salty flavor, you have the
Bit of uh
sour flavor,
yes.
and then you have
Sweet.
the yeah, bitter flavor. It has to be a combination of all those things. That is the notion of a balanced diet in Chinese
Yes.
medicine.
Yes. Yes.
But of course, the notion of having, you know, have the amount of vitamins and minerals.
Mm,
These are
mm.
also important. That's also one way.
Is there any particular food that we should be avoiding during the winter?
Yes. Well, first of all, you do not want to have too much cooling food.
Yes.
When
Yes.
it's already cold outside, you don't, you don't want to have cooling foods to have.
So what's the typical sort of, cooling food that you should have in summer but not in the winter?
Yes, yes, yes. You know, look like watermelon and everything like that, sigua and everything. You have them in summer, but
Yes.
because of refrigeration now, you can have
Yes.
them in.
Yeah, in the winter you can have
Yeah,
watermelon, cucumber, I think a bitter melon is something that you absolutely should avoid during the winter.
yeah. If you look at the restaurants at the Crown,
Oh, they have it
they
all the
have
time.
they have it all the cold
Oh, the
food.
other thing is the seafood. I don't think it's good to have too much seafood during the winter
Not
because
too much is not good,
they're
but
cooling
it's always
food.
good to have a small amount of
Yes, I
uh,
just had a fish yesterday, so that's really bad of me.
yeah. So the important thing is moderation.
Yes,
Moderation.
yes,
It has to be balanced, I think, in the food, and that is true also to prevent having the cold. You know, people will say, "Oh, how can you prevent the cold by having, having a balanced diet?" Well, you know, in Chinese medicine, that's what
yes, you
it's all
can.
about.
Yes.
You know, you have to have a balance of the flavors that of the food that you actually have.
So you can build up your
Yes,
defense system in your body, and
yes,
that would actually help you to not get sick.
yeah. Not get sick, not to have COVID, not to have the flu,
Yep,
and all those
yep,
things. It's
yep,
true for that.
yep.
But of
So
course, you tell this to the the conventional doctor, they would say, "Well, what's the proof?" Well, so I will tell them, well, the proof is, you know, the 2,000 years of historical records of
Mm,
the cases
yes,
treated in China.
that's the other interesting uh, thing about the traditional Chinese medicine. That I actually read quite a lot of what we call the Yi'an,
Yeah, yep,
the
case
medical
records.
case analysis.
Yes,
So basically, what in Yi'an is that you will have a patient, the
yeah,
age, the gender,
yeah.
the condition, the complaints, and then
The
you have the
diagnosis,
diagnosis,
yeah,
the
the treatment,
treatment,
yeah,
and they sometimes you even get an analysis of the treatment. Why they do this? They will say, well, this acupuncture point deals with that, and
yeah,
that one deals with that, and this one would modify their
yeah.
effects. The
Yeah.
same goes with the herbs.
And also, Professor Gao, it will also say in the end the day and the year
Oh
that that
yes,
particular patient. Of course, the day and the year is written in terms of the stem and branches.
oh yes, the traditional calendar, the traditional way of recording
Yeah, what
dates.
they call the Tiangan Di that type of thing.
Yes, yes. Wow, that's so amazing. Thank you. I'm going to move on to the next question.